Hey, what's up y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is FinestXI. Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about a really cool gun that I've been using almost exclusively for this past wipe in Tarkov. I've been very much in the mindset of only use weapons that are effective and that will win me the battle. I go through different phases because I play Tarkov so much. Sometimes I like to use the worst guns and see what I could get away with. And sometimes I like to use the best stuff only and win as much as possible, survive as many battles as possible. So the gun in question is the AK-103. It is a 7.62 series AK. AKs in Tarkov are super versatile. You have the standard 5.45 caliber stuff. You have the AK-101, which shoots 5.56 like HK M4 ammo, and then you have the 7.62 AKs, which I love so much. A quick thing to mention is that this patch, the AK-103 stat wise, is superior to the AKM, which used to be the old meta AK for 7.62. Tarkov sometimes just likes to change up the meta, and so I'm just assuming that's why the stats this time around are better. So right now the AK-103 is the way to go. And what's really cool about this video right now is this is an AK I built out of complete necessity because I just reset my account to level up and play Tarkov all over again just for fun. And we obviously very quickly ran into the problem of, oh my god, I hate using some of these guns that I have to use in the very beginning. I wish I could just go back to my old great, effective guns like the AK-103. So I was about maybe level 13, 15, something like that. And I decided, you know what, let's build a 103, but let's build it as budget as possible. Still throw the BP ammo in there and see what we can do with it. And the results honestly were amazing. I'm super excited to show you guys this gun and build and talk to you about it today. As always, do me a huge favor, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Also, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button as well. We put out a ton of helpful Escape from Tarkov content, lots of guides up on the channel for y'all. And lastly, I do stream on Twitch all the time as well. So if you want some instant feedback or instant help, try hitting me up over there. I'm live often and I'm very happy to help you out and answer all your questions. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so here is the AK-103 in question. It is my super budget AK-103 build, and I'm very excited to share it with you guys now. So the first thing I want to mention is that it probably looks like I've done almost zero modifications on this gun. It looks pretty bare bones. And to be honest, I haven't really done that many modifications, but that's the beauty of how effective this gun is. I quickly found out through trial and error that you don't need to do much to get this thing battle ready. And that's what makes it so much fun, is because it ends up being really cheap and it still feels like it's a meta weapon, like a super modded out weapon with the way it handles ergonomic recoil wise and everything like that. So stats on this gun, we have ergo at 55, which is pretty respectable. I'm using SA58s that have like -3 ergonomics sometimes, so 55 is basically a godsend. The vertical recoil is 87. Now this may seem a little bit high when you're used to some super builds being like 26 recoil and stuff like that, but you're gonna see in this video, because of the fire rate is what I'm imagining why this works so well. Because of the fire rate of this gun, that 87 recoil really doesn't kick that hard, and I didn't find it very difficult to use in my raids. And before you say, oh well, you must have a super high recoil skill, no, remember I just reset. On this account I'm level 23, but when I first started using this gun I was like level 13, 15, something like that. And just to prove to you that I'm not yanking your chain, my recoil skill is level 3, which gives me a 1% reduction to recoil, so it's essentially non-existent, and it's the build doing all of the work completely. So I want to go ahead and dive into the parts list here and talk about all of what I added onto this gun and exactly why I did it, and also mention there are a few variables here where if something is not really your style, you can swap it out with different parts. So I'm going to talk to you about all that right now. As always with gun builds, I'm going to start with the pistol grip. It's just a nice place to start in my opinion. And with the pistol grip, the only thing you can get out of it is ergonomics. Ergonomics are great. They help you ADS faster after a sprint. So if you are caught off guard by an enemy that you didn't know was there and you have high ergonomics, you can very quickly raise your gun and fire back at that enemy. However, with this particular build, the pistol grip, it's very interchangeable because no matter which grip you put on here, the ergo is going to be pretty dang good. The reason I went with this particular one right here, which is the SI enhanced pistol grip for AK, is because it happened to be the cheapest on the flea market at this time. So pulling up the SI Enhanced pistol grip for AK, as you can see here on the Flea, it is available from mechanic level 3 if you have him unlocked for very cheap, but otherwise if you have to buy it aftermarket, it's only about 11-12k. I think I picked up mine for maybe 8k as well. A lot of the pistol grips you're gonna be able to buy aftermarket will run 50k even. The very budget friendly stuff is down here in the 10ks. The other pistol grip that I actually found that was as cheap and very comparable to this one is, surprisingly enough, the KGB MG47 pistol grip. I know you would think this is a little bit more expensive because it looks kind of flashy, but actually it did not run me a whole lot. Even aftermarket, which is actually the only way you can get this pistol grip, it's not available from a trader, it's only about 11k. Stat wise, it's got 9 ergonomics, which I didn't mention. The SI Enhanced pistol grip comes in at about 8 ergonomics. So again, minimal difference. The big kicker here is that it's super cheap and it's not going to run you that much, and you're going to get a good ergo bonus out of it. So pick up either the SI Enhanced or the MG47 pistol grip and you will be very satisfied, I promise. Now, the stock is honestly the part that gets me the most excited. It's ridiculous, but I think it's so cool that you can just stick a butt pad on the stock and be good to go, because I'm used to building weapons where I need to change out the stock. I need to put on, you know, like an attachment device, a lock, and then throw a different stock on, or either put a buffer tube on and pick one of like 20 different stocks and decide which one's best. It's so easy to just throw on the recoil pad, the GP25 right onto the base stock and just be done with it. Another reason it's so much fun to do this is because this thing really doesn't run you that much. Buying it aftermarket is a little bit more expensive, but the thing is here, when you think about how much it costs you to buy either an adapter or buffer tube and then the stock you want to throw on, it actually ends up being more expensive than this. So this does give you 5% less recoil and 2 ergonomics. I think it's wholeheartedly worth it. If you really wanted to skip it, you could and save a little money there, but honestly, I don't recommend skipping it because those 5% recoil really does help. So next is where we get into the part where there's a lot of options here. With the top of the gun, with the way you can mount the sight, if you want a sight at all, I do recommend it, and then the foregrip up front. So I'm going to talk to you about a couple different options here that you have, starting with the one that I threw on here. Thanks to a viewer, I can't remember your name right now, I'm so sorry, but you know who you are. They told me about this nifty polymer AK-100 series foregrip. Now, the reason this kind of blew my mind is because this thing is extremely cheap. And now when I first looked at it, I thought to myself, okay, well, like, what's the point? Like, what can you do with this thing? And I soon realized that, oh my God, wait, you can actually put a foregrip and a tactical device on here for only a few thousand rubles, which is actually kind of insane when you think about the other options you have for something like this, where you could throw on like a B10 M foregrip, which will allow you to put a sight on top as well, but still the same pistol grip on the bottom and flashlight attachment on the side. This thing costing a considerable amount more. If I pull one up real quick just to show you, instead of a few thousand rubles, it is actually about 20,000 rubles. So the price difference with what this allows you to do, like I said, absolutely blew my mind. So again, it is the polymer AK-100 series foregrip. You throw that on there, you can put a flashlight and a tactical device right there on the bottom, and it's really, really nice. So that's a great option for you. Super cheap, super effective. As for, I'm gonna bounce back and forth here a little bit. As for the pistol grip, you have obviously several options, but the cheapest and most affordable options are gonna be your Tango Down stubby grips. They're often very cheap, especially aftermarket on the Flea. So, you know, if you don't have traders unlocked and you want to go pick up one of these, it's not going to run you that much. I'll do a quick filter on here. Just 4,000, 5,000 for the pistol grip. It really, and they're often priced this way. They're not the greatest grips. They only do 1% recoil, 5 ergonomics, but that's nothing to disregard either. When you add up all the little bits and pieces on this build, it's going to make a world of a difference. And real quickly before I move on, I love adding flashlights to any of my builds. I love doing night raids, and flashlights just really help. Also pushing corners and stuff like that in small areas. The flashlight can help you push corners and blind the enemy. Super effective. I love doing it. Love using them on every build. Obviously, it's totally optional. You guys don't have to spend the extra money if you don't want to. I found that the X400 flashlight that I have on here right now typically runs the cheapest, especially aftermarket. It's only 12,000 rubles if you can't buy it from the trader. It's really not that bad, but also optional. So just, you know, you don't have to have it on there, but it is helpful. Now let's talk about the top of the gun and how I actually was able to mount a sight, especially when using the regular receiver and this polymer foregrip, which doesn't have the sight mount. We were able to do this using, on this particular build, the TT01, the Tactica Tula rear sight weaver adapter. It's a small little guy that goes right there on the top middle of the gun. gun. It replaces the standard rear sight that comes with the AK-103, and it allows you to put a few different sights on here. I love using the XP-S3-0, but aftermarket it can be a little pricey. It's about 30,000 when I checked just a second ago. But the Weaver is a great alternative as well, and it runs only about 20,000. With sights, I'm never going to tell you like you need to use this one, you need to use this one. Well, I'm not going to do that anymore. I used to. Honestly, it's all personal preference, and whatever you have will work just fine. But for this build, the Weaver went right on the TT and it worked great. Now, I want to show you quick two alternatives here to this middle section of the gun. Bear with me here. This might get a little complicated, but you can change out the polymer for the B10, and then you can take off the TT completely and end up with just this B10 mount where you can throw on the same stubby that we used before. I'm sorry, we're using the black one actually. You can throw on the same stubby you used before. You can put on any sight you want here on top of the front of this gun here, and then you can still throw on a flashlight. So the B10 will allow you to get, you know, the sight, the grip, and the attachment on just the same. The only difference being the B10 is a touch more pricey than that polymer handguard. And if I can pull it up right now, I'll show you. You can pick up one of these aftermarket right now for about 20K. Now this is versus the polymer handguard, which was about 4K. All right, but then you had the TT, which I believe was about 6K aftermarket. So it's within 10,000 of the other build I just showed you. The big difference here is that the sight is going to be at the front of the gun, and if you've never seen that, it can be a little funky for a lot of people. I used to play Tarkov with the sight on the front exclusively, and I just used it recently again, and it does not bug me at all, especially with this build. It just works out quite well. But again, this is just an alternative to the other build I just showed you guys. If you want to do it a little bit of a different way, if you have a B10 and you want to use that instead, that's totally viable. Now I'm going to show you guys one more option without using the B10. We can go back to the polymer handguard, throw on our stubby grip as usual, put the flashlight on the side, same way we had it before. And now what we can do instead is we can change out the receiver and we can use the Bastion. Then we can throw on anything we want on top of the Bastion. I'll just use the Weaver for fun. Now the Bastion, which keep in mind, you can only have the Bastion on if you take off the rear sight. So it won't let you have both. So just take off the rear sight, then you can throw on the Bastion. The Bastion, aftermarket on the flea, can be incredibly affordable. Like at the time right here, it's 5, 6, 7, 8K. It's super cheap. Obviously, it allows you to get the sight at the front of the gun, which a majority of people I think are comfortable with and used to. You know, I know it may get a little confusing. I just wanted to include all three of these options here so you guys could do which one you preferred. You can either have the sight, you know, at the front, the middle, or the back end of the gun there. And, you know, I encourage you to shop around a little bit and just see what's cheaper at the time, because obviously prices will be different throughout the wipe. But these three, all of them were pretty much well within the same price range, super affordable stuff. And you can't go wrong with any three of these options. And guys, the very last thing I want to mention here about this build, I'm going to go back to the original one that we had. Just for consistency's sake, we will roll with this one. The last thing you may notice is that I have this weird little compensator on the front of the gun. Now, I don't know if I just got really lucky, but this compensator is it's like mechanic level 3, I think is what it is. Let me see here. Mechanic level 3. Super effective and a really great compensator. As you can see, it's got minus 12% recoil, 0.5 muzzle velocity, it's minus 2 ergo, but that recoil is the big reason why you'd want to use something like this. This thing has stayed within 6 to 15K over the past week. I've been checking on this regularly. This compensator is a really high level compensator, and it's super affordable on the flea market. So just for comparison's sake, I'm going to show you guys some other compensators so you can see exactly why I'm freaking out over the SRVV. So we have the JMac here. It's, you know, does the same job. It's a compensator. The JMac is also only 10K from mechanic level 3, just like the SRVV. It was pretty much like 10K, but aftermarket, much more expensive. So that's why, and as you can see too, it's recoil minus 15%. The SRVV was 12%. That's pretty minimal, the difference in those two, but the price difference is absolutely massive. So that's why the SRVV has been the perfect budget compensator that still kicks a lot of butt. Now, I also want to point out the Spike Dynacomp here is pretty much in the same realm. You can also pick this up aftermarket for pretty cheap, 7K, 8K. Stat-wise, it is only 1% worse on recoil, 1 ergonomic worse as well. Both the Spike Tactical Dynacomp and the SRVV are cheap, affordable, and effective. So I definitely recommend them for this budget build. Then you have it, the complete budget AK-103 that I've been using, kicking butt with. And I'm sure you guys are wondering, okay, how much does all of this actually cost? Like what are we talking about price wise here? So let's run through that right now, starting with picking up the gun itself. We'll do that aftermarket too, just to show you guys the full cost of this. We have, so the gun, even from resellers, is usually about 47, 48K. Here's one for 46,000. I'll pick that up right now. Not bad for a gun of this caliber and the stats that it has. Not bad whatsoever. So I will open up the budget AK build we were just taking a look at. Boom, just like that. And then we'll go ahead and search for all the parts so I can show you guys how affordable this can be. For me, the SRVV is again about 11,000. The pistol grip, about 11,000. It could be as low as 8K, maybe sometimes 15K. Still super affordable. Very great option. The TT mount, 2,900 from traders, a little more expensive from the resellers. But like I said, if that isn't your cup of tea, then just go ahead and search for either the Bastion and use that, or the B10 mount on the front and use that. You have options, and whatever's cheaper at the time, just go with that because they're all pretty much the same build no matter what. You can pick up mags for super cheap. It doesn't have to be this one. There's like a AK-55 mag from Prapor level 1. It's super cheap. That works just fine. The polymer AK-100 series, super cheap and affordable. Even aftermarket, it was only a few K more than this. Tango down stubby, same thing, just 4 or 5, 6,000 aftermarket. The flashlight I'm buying for 90 bucks here. It is about 10K, 15K aftermarket. Again, this is totally optional, so if you don't want to use this, you don't have to. The sight is also preference based. 20K for the Weaver. It's, it is what it is. If you want a sight, you're going to spend a little money. And then 3,500 for me from Prapor, but about 15K for the recoil pad on the flea market. So I'm gonna hit purchase all, 59K, 90 bucks. 59K, and then the 47K I spent on the gun itself. We're looking at about, roughly 100K. Like, if the deals are better, I could build this thing for about 100,000 rubles, which in my opinion is very affordable and very effective for what you're receiving. For what you're getting out of this, 100K you're spending is well worth it. Now, I do want to talk ammo real quick. You can use 7.62 BP or you can use 7.62 PS. The PS ammo is one of the cheapest ammos in the game. It is 7.62 caliber. It's a level 1 Prapor, and it is 91 rubles a bullet. Incredibly cheap, packs a punch for what it is at level 1 traders. Can't go wrong there, especially towards the beginning of wipes where people aren't using the greatest gear. Now, any other time, mid wipe, late wipe, no matter what, if you want a bullet that is going to work and get the job done, I recommend 7.62 BP. Now, this is a super effective and dangerous bullet. It does 1 taps to Altons. I can confirm I've died to BP through my Altons several times with just 1 bullet. So is this worth it? Yes, this ammo will get through armor and it will not let you down. And the best part about this ammo is how often you can pick it up for about what it retails for on traders. I know that this may seem excessive. 1,200 a bullet, 1,300 a bullet. Like I said, you just saw some for about 1,000 a bullet earlier. I know that seems excessive. I know that doesn't seem budget, but if you're gonna cheap out on the gun, I don't recommend cheaping out on the ammo because the ammo is what's gonna get the kill. If you use this ammo, you are going to get the kill. So obviously in the end, it's up to you. I will never not recommend using this 7.62 BP ammo, and it's what I have in the gun right now. It's what I will always use no matter what. When it comes to 7.62, it just gets the job done. Okay, I always find myself feeling like I've forgotten to say something when I do these gun build videos, but I think I've just about covered everything. I covered the build of the gun, the ammo I recommend, and I've shown you guys some footage as well, showing you how effective it can be. So I think that's about it. I think we can wrap this up here and call it a day on this video. Like I said, this is a gun that I'm personally out there using every single day, whether it's this particular build or a better build as I level up higher. I love this gun and I love the ammo it shoots, and I recommend that you try it out because you're gonna absolutely be blown away, I think, by the results you get from this build. If you guys enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor and hit that like button for me. If you want more helpful Escape from Tarkov content, hit that subscribe button while you're at it. We put out a ton of videos, a ton of helpful guides, like I said earlier, and there's something for everyone out there on the channel. Again, if you want more instant help, if you want to come chat with me live, I stream on Twitch all the time, so please feel free to stop by over there. Whether you have questions or you just want to come hang out with us, come on by. We'd love to meet you. As always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one.